Well, I am down here today at Cedar Point, and I rode down this way, and I've always got my fishing pole and tackle in the van with me. So I thought that I'd flip one of these little shad baits I got out here and see if I could catch a fish. You never know down here. This is a place I love to come. This was me and my brother. It's one of our favorite places to come. Now, the tide is just about half tide, and when the tide goes out, right over here, it goes down, and there's a little bit of a bank right there, and then there's a little hole out there. And when me and my brother used to come down here regular before he couldn't really get out and do any fishing anymore, we used to cut through the marsh there, sometimes bogging up to our knees, trying to get out there. We go out there right there on that little tiny point right there and cork fish with live shrimp or throw a jig of some kind out there or whatever. And we used to do real well. We catch trout, red bass, drum, sheephead, you name it, pretty much we can catch it right there. And it's a little windy out here today, so you're gonna hear some noise distortion because of the wind. There's usually always a breeze blowing out here. But anyway, this was one of our favorite places. There is a dock over there. We might walk up there in a minute, through a couple of times, and a boat launch. This used to be Buddy's fish camp back when I was young. That's the remnants here of the old dock and place that was down here. Used to come down here and fish, and I'm talking about back in the 60s and 70s. And not too far over there, whatever, was Shady Rest. And go down to Shady Rest and fish. But anyway, this used to come out here a lot. You know, at least several times a week. Me and my nephew come down here a while back. We didn't stay very long. If Chris is one of those, if he don't catch fish pretty quick, he wants to move on. And we went down to Pumpkin Hill and caught a few fish. But anyway, I was down here pretty close and thought I would come down here and see if I could get a hit. And when I go fishing, I like to catch fish, but fishing is just relaxing for me. You know, just getting away from everyday stress and the stuff that goes on in this country. And like I say, I like to catch fish, but I just like to be out here messing around. Now, fishing today, and I guess it's everywhere, but especially here in Florida, you need to carry a tape measure with you and a set of the rules, fishing regulations with you, so you know what to do, because they change them unfortunately pretty regular. And if you ain't right, they will write you a ticket. Lord, they've got bag limits on everything today. How many you can catch and what you can use to catch them on, and well, you name it. Now, here again, back when I was young, there was very few bag limits, or whatever you want to call it. There wasn't much size limit on anything. If you thought a fish was big enough to take home and fry, you kept him and you took him home and fried him up. But today, that's not the case. You better have a tape measure pretty close. Make sure you're good and legal. In fact, one of the last times me and my brother come down here, we was fishing off the dock down there, and a boy come up in a kayak. He went out for a little while. He wasn't gone very long. And limit on redfish, red drum. We call them red bass, but they're red drum. You can only catch one, and they have to be at least 18 inches long, no more than 27. Well, I guess the old boy had forgot his tape measure. So when he come back in, he had caught a couple of trout. He had caught a nice redfish. And his luck, I guess, runs about like mine does. When about the time he got up, thing a game warden, or whatever they call themselves now, the game wardens of the Marine Patrol, were incorporated together years ago, and now they go by a totally different name. But anyway, man just happened to be sitting here when he come up. Hey, let me see what you got there, buddy. He went down, and like I say, redfish couldn't be over 27 inches long. So first thing he done, he went straight to that redfish, and it was 27 and a half, 27 and 3/4. Anyway, it was just over the legal limit. Well, I'm gonna have to write you a ticket. So anyway, for that 3/4 of an inch or whatever it was, it cost that boy $300. He got a $300 ticket for having a fish that was just a little bit over the legal size. Now, like I say, back in the, well, I ain't gonna go down in there. That stuff there, a little too deep trying to go through there. I'm in flip-flops. So if I had my boots on, I might try it. But anyway, that boy's a little bit of pleasure he got that day or whatever turned into a $300 ticket. Now, like I say, back when I was younger, there wasn't no size limit or limit on how many you could catch. If there was, if you was close, you know what I'm saying. Nobody carried a tape measure with them. They let you slide. If the fish was alive, they might make you throw him, make you throw him back. And if he wasn't, he'd say, "Get on out of here. Have a nice day." But there was a time when the Game Commission become law enforcement. And today, the game warden has more authority in the state of Florida than a state trooper. They can write you a ticket for speeding down the road, parking in the wrong place, or just about anything. And they can write you a ticket for a too little or too big fish. So, game wardens have a lot of authority here in Florida. And any of y'all that know me or seen many of my videos know that I'm about as big as you can get on the Second Amendment, your right to firearms. But now, in fact for some years, the game wardens carry a modified version of the AR-15 in their vehicle with them. Now, why they need that, I don't know. Seems to me if you're out here with people recreational fishing, that pistol would be enough. But I guess they think with Florida and our couple of thousand miles of coastline, they might run into a drug runner or something and might need it. And I guess that's true. But even though, if you ask me, that's not their job, they should be out here doing what they was meant to be doing. They've got the DEA and the ATF and the FBI and the XYZs out there for all that kind of stuff. I don't think they need game wardens doing that. But anyway, here again, my opinion, I have not got one hit while I've been down here. It could be this bait. I've never used it before, and I may not be using it exactly right because I have never used it. I usually use a stingray grub head with some variation on the tail that goes on, and they do pretty good. Now this is a paddle tail on there. It ain't much different from the stingray grub head, with the exception it does not have a, if you'll take a look at it, it doesn't have a red lead head on it. This looks more like a shad, little shad. Boat coming in here, he's probably leaving. I'm not on the right tide down here exactly to be fishing. Like I say, I was down here, thought I'd throw a bait a few times. How you doing? Do any good?
Oh, I've got a few trout, nothing of any size.
Yeah. No, I ain't been out here for just a few minutes. I was down this way and had I always got my fishing stuff with me. And I had never tried one of these little shad baits before, and I got a while back. I thought while I was down here, I'd just come down and give it a try. Tide ain't exactly what I would have liked for it to have been, but like I say, I'm out here fishing, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
Say I hadn't been out here in a while. Usually when I talk to my nephew, he tells me when and where he's been and how they're biting. I hadn't talked to him in a couple of weeks. He's been busy with some other things in his life. So anyway, like I say, I'm not on the right tide to even be doing this. I don't know whether you could hear him or not or whatever, but he said he had caught a few, but they were all small. He didn't say whether he had any keepers or not. Now, if you look over there, I gotta adjust this camera. It is adjustable. I gotta do it with, I got Wi-Fi for my phone, and I can zoom in a little bit with it, but the way it's made, I can't quite do it just on the fly here. But out there in the distance, you can see a pretty good fishing boat out there. Now that's the intercoastal waterway, and then just beyond that is Extra Drive, which goes down the coast, and it's right along the Atlantic Ocean. Or actually, that's St. John's here. Then a little bit farther out, the Atlantic Ocean is pretty much in the direction that I'm looking right now is the ocean. Back that way is actually St. John's River. And of course, you got Clapboard Creek, ain't far over there. But anyway, I'd like to at least got a bite some kind of way, but that's why they call it fishing, they don't call it catching. These woods are beautiful down here, and this is a nice area. Now they've had this area down here for, oh, I don't know, at least 20 years, maybe a little longer. Where it's actually been part of the preserve down here. They've got some nice restrooms and the dock and the boat ramp. Ample parking. It's just a nice place to come. Like I say, if nothing else, just to hang out a little bit. Now they even put a picnic table over there. That wasn't there in the past. I don't know how long it's been there, maybe a while. But I'm glad to see they got a couple of, well, they got about 3 picnic tables over there. Be a good place to come out and have a picnic. But a lot of things have changed in my lifetime, some for the good and some not for the good. Our personal rights or freedoms are getting stepped on more and more every day. Believe it or not, you're not as free as you was yesterday. I hate to ruin a fishing trip by talking politics, but we're in a sad state now. The United States has never been, in my lifetime, in the state it's in now. And I grew up during the Cold War when we were not at war with Russia, but we were at odds with Russia. You never knew when a nuke might find its way here. And it was a scary thought when you was a kid growing up. And things cooled down a bit, and then Gorbachev got in office. And he and Reagan got along really well, Ronald Reagan. And Russia tore down the wall. And they got away from their communist state. Doing good, I thought, anyway. But anyway, we didn't have to worry so much about nukes unless the third world country got a hold of them. But I'll be darned if I ain't afraid again in my older life that Putin get pissed off and lob a nuke at us. Wouldn't surprise me a bit. You gotta respect the man in some ways, but he's definitely a nut. And I guess maybe you got to see things in his, or the Soviet Union's way of thinking anyway. It's kind of like, and here again, I'm not pro-Russian by no means, but I try to see things from both sides of the road. Now, they went into Ukraine, but Ukraine was part of Russia. And so they basically seceded from Russia and become their own country. And Putin decided he didn't like that, so he went into Ukraine to bring it back under their control. Of course, the United States got involved, which a lot of times I think we ought to just leave shit alone. We've got enough problems of our own here without getting into somebody else's dispute. But we had a similar dispute here in the United States back in the 1860s, where the South wanted to secede from the Union, and the Union didn't like it much. They sent troops in to squash the rebellion. Well, that's kind of sort of what Russia has done over there, if you think about it. We fought a long, bloody battle and lost about 600 men in that struggle. And a lot of bloodshed for pretty much no reason at all, if you ask me. So I have to equate Russia's deal with the deal we had back in the 1860s. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that a whole lot. But anyway, it's been a nice day down here. I didn't get a strike fishing, but like I say, this was just a whim to come down here, and I thought I'd film it while I was down here. If nothing else, y'all got to see some pretty water. Listen to me run my mouth for a few minutes about how things used to be and how they are now. So anyway, I'm gonna go up here, and this one will be very, very short. Back of me up here closer to the road is where a Timucua village used to be. And there's nothing there of it now or whatever, but they did do an excavation and all like that or whatever. And I'll talk about it for a few minutes. It ain't gonna be very long, like I say. But anyway, I appreciate y'all taking your time out of your day and looking at this video that's about nothing, pretty much. Like I say, just me rambling on. So I'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. Make a comment. And like I say, I appreciate you. Y'all have a good day. And as always, God bless you.